Time for a look at your West Tennessee forecast with meteorologist Brian Davis.
And welcome in, everyone. Thanks for tuning in here on this Monday night. We're about to get it knocked out. We're going to be talking about a lot of things that have occurred over the last couple of days in the weather, as far as the severe weather. We're going to take a look at the tropics. It's starting to crank up in the tropics, by the way. And how about that storm with 70 to 80 mile per hour winds that came through the Memphis area on Saturday? We were here tracking that live. Let's go ahead and get the latest on that. National Weather Service put out some additional information on what occurred. It was a bow echo event. Now, those bow echo storms, you can see how they've kind of outlined that. Those are shaped like a bow, and that can indicate some very bad winds. We were indicating at one point as high as up to 90 mile per hour winds in some of those pockets on radar. So very concerning. We were on about an hour before that even made it to West Tennessee. For those that were tuned in, you know that. We were kind of giving a little countdown, heads up, it's going to be there in about 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and then here it come. But yeah, lots of damage, and it's going to take until about Thursday is estimated time to get all the power back on, because this was a very widespread event. 70 plus mile per hour winds is being stated by the National Weather Service. Over 120,000 plus customers that were without power. They've been fixing, working around the clock. They called in, they had 175 workers available, and I think they've got around 350 as I was watching the latest information as they were talking from the city of Memphis. Somewhere around 350 they've called in surrounding states to help out there. But yeah, peak winds estimated between 60 and 80 mile per hour winds. The duration of the event went for 45 minutes through Shelby County alone, with a total of 90 minutes in that storm. If you'll remember, we tracked it through Memphis, through Fayette County, through parts of southern Haywood, and then we tracked it right into Mississippi. But thankfully, the weather's been nice and quiet, and that's allowing, cleanup to move along pretty nicely. And I think they'll be at least pretty close to that Thursday outline for all of those that are without power. All right, so we want to talk about the tropics here too, because that too is something that can cause a lot of problems. Now, the Pacific has been very, very active. But we are starting, and it's been very quiet across the Gulf into a lot of the Atlantic, but we are seeing more development. The last system kind of fizzled out. This one here has a 60% chance of developing into something more, whether it be a tropical storm or hurricane over the next 7 days. So you've got that system. You've got this one here near Bermuda, but it's going to continue to turn kind of away from the U.S., so not concerned about that. And then you've got Isaiah, which is out here as a hurricane. And then you've got about 3 other little tropical waves there that we're kind of watching in that area. But Hawaii, of course, taking a beating out of some of these tropical systems. But really, it's been really quiet across the Gulf and parts of the Atlantic. But at least for the last day and a half, 2 days, has been pretty quiet here back at home. And we got a nice quiet night here now in Parsons at 73 degrees. Notice our humidity has been a little bit lower, and it naturally comes up a little bit at night. But during the day, we were down to upper 30s on 39% humidity in some areas, which is phenomenal, compared to what we have been dealing with. 77 right now in Savannah. That's kind of our warm spot for tonight. But either way, temperatures are still falling, so it's going to continue to get more comfortable from here on out. You can see we're right there at 70 in Paris right now. We've got 70 in Henderson and Camden. We've got 79 out at Dyersburg. We've got Troy coming in at 77, as well as Dresden, 73 in Alamo. So it just kind of depends on where you're located. Jackson coming in at 73, as well as Bolivar and Somerville. And Memphis is kind of the warmest spot right now at 81 degrees. But of course, the temperature will continue dropping into the overnight hours. The winds are still coming out of the north, which tends to keep us a little bit drier, a little bit cooler, but shifting a little bit more out of the northeast right now. And those will turn more out of the east and southeast over the next 24 hours. Looking at the surface or the radar, you can see looking quiet here But we have had some showers just about all day long, some weak thunderstorms and some showers just off to the west of us. You can see those over parts of Arkansas, and those have been moving just kind of off to the south and southeast at times and kind of fizzling out over Mississippi. And we'll see more rounds of that tomorrow. There is a slight chance we could see a little shower or two, short lived, make it over to about Dyersburg or maybe say Memphis briefly in the morning hours, but that's about all I see for tomorrow. Now, it does get into some better chances as we get towards Wednesday. You're going to see this surface low kind of getting closer to us with the rain showing up a little better on the latest surface mount there. And all the severe weather, it's either going to be well off to the northwest or off to the south and east of us over parts of the Gulf Coast there, panhandle of Florida, South Alabama, Georgia, those places. But notice that yellow shaded area, that's the 2 out of 5. Some of that energy is going to get close to us by the time we get into Wednesday. And we're going to show a close up view of that as well. So here's a look at Wednesday in the big picture. A little piece of that energy comes off. It kind of heads a little bit further off to the southeast. That puts Mississippi kind of in the crosshairs as well as Arkansas on a Wednesday, but also just a little fringe area of southwest Tennessee. Now, remember on Saturday, all of West Tennessee was in a severe weather risk. Half of it was in the green to the east, and Memphis was in the 2 out of 5 risk. So this is not going to be nowhere near that level. In fact, most of West Tennessee will not be in a severe weather risk. But as you can see as we zoom in, just those fringe southwestern areas, a good chunk of Shelby County, a little bit of Fayette right now, and a little bit of Tipton, and a slight little bit of Lauderdale there to the south and west, in that 1 out of 5, which is going to be a step down from the risk that we had on Saturday when we wound up getting that ferocious 70-plus mile per hour storm through there. Let's take a look at Futurecast. It'll take us through the night, looking pretty dry, pretty quiet there for us. But you can see those showers will continue just off to the west. And again, like we're seeing right there in the morning, we could see a couple of those little stray showers work into like Memphis, briefly. But this is weak activity. It doesn't look like thunderstorms, mainly just a little bit of light rain or some scattered showers that'll be very short-lived before heading into Mississippi. However, as you can see, that is getting closer to us each day. So I don't think we're going to be able to keep all of the rain away forever. And Wednesday, you'll see on the 7-day forecast, I do have a better shot at some rain, especially just west of Jackson, but anywhere in the viewing area. Could get a little bit of rain there on Wednesday. All right, so for the rest of tonight, keeping it nice and quiet. Rain chances are going to be near zero, and will be nice and cool again in the morning at about 68 degrees. That should feel really nice there. So heading out in the morning, there you can see kind of a partly to mostly sunny sky. Definitely by 9 o'clock, we'll be back to some sunshine and some really pretty weather there coming in. So as the buses roll out in the morning, looking really good, kind of just a little touch of fall there in the air. And then we're going to top out a little bit warmer than we were today. Some of us came in around 90 today. We'll come in about a degree or two warmer in most areas as we head into the afternoon. And remember, the temperature you see here is 91 is for around 3 to 3:30. So we're actually going to be a little warmer than that, than what our bus stop forecast shows. So we'll be taking a look at that as well. Let's go ahead and take a peek into the weekend, though. Everybody wants to know about the weekend. Yeah, there you go. It's going to be hot, unfortunately. Lots of sunshine, but this time of the year, as you know, that can bring the heat dome. That big high pressure system looks like it's going to work in around the weekend, and that's going to put us back up in the mid 90s by Sunday. Unfortunately, not as hot as it was the last couple of weeks, but there again, we could have a brush with a heat advisory, or can't rule out one through the afternoon on Sunday as the heat will get going. And then you can see kind of spreads over into Monday too, mid 90s. So hopefully this is not going to be a big long heat wave. Right now, it doesn't look like as nearly as long as an event, but a couple of 2 or 3 days of some hot weather there makes a return. For tomorrow, though, we'll top out there in the low 90s. We'll drop down a little bit, not as cold, not as cool as it has been. It'll be more closer to 70, about 69 there, back up to the low 90s again on Wednesday. That 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could work in the morning on Wednesday, too. and then we'll drop back into the upper 60s again. We'll go back up to about 92 there on Thursday, but then we'll drop back behind that precipitation. That's going to be a cold front, so we'll drop back just a little bit there to about 91 on Friday. A few stray showers possible the first half of Friday. Friday evening looks dry for football, and then we'll be dropping through nice kind of cool night there as we'll be approaching near the mid 60s almost as we get towards Saturday morning. That brings up a point, though, is we're not too far away, guys. September's just around the corner, and we are going to start to get some of those cool nights for Football Friday. It won't be long at all. All right, but as soon as the temperature drops on Friday and Friday night, look what happens. We start off Saturday. Yes, that's going to be nice at about 66, but then we're going to head up to 93, and then we'll be at 95 by Sunday. Lots of abundant sunshine as we head Sunday into Monday as well. But I'm afraid we may wind up with at least some brief heat advisories there, at least either Sunday or Monday. So enjoy the slightly cooler weather over the next couple of days. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night, everyone. And thanks as always for tuning in right here to West Tennessee Weather Channel. Take care.
We are West Tennessee Weather Channel.